Greetings metalheads, I'm George and this is No Nonsense Metal Reviews, and today we have another installment of bands you need to hear. In the countdown to Incineration Festival held in London, UK this May, I'm going to be picking a few bands from choice bands, if you like, from that absolutely stellar lineup. I'd love to cover them all, but A, I don't know them all, and B, there's too many bands, not quite enough time to cover them all in. But I'm picking a few choice acts, if you like, that you absolutely must not miss. If you're going to Incineration Fest, definitely check these guys out. And if you're not planning on going, maybe these recommendations will change your mind. Maybe you'll be grabbing a ticket. So, today's bands you need to hear are an absolute favourite of mine. I absolutely love this band. They've been around for a whole lot of years now. I believe since about 1987 to 1989. A band hailing from Athens, Greece. I'm talking about the absolutely mighty Rotting Christ. Absolutely love this band, as I say, with the core powerhouse of Sarkis Tollis on vocals and guitar, and then you've got Themis Tollis, his brother, on drums. They're the main driving force of this band. There's been numerous other people coming and going and contributing over the years, but these guys absolutely kill it. They are an interesting band stylistically because you hear them being referred to as a black metal band quite predominantly. And that is a tag that I feel doesn't quite do justice to this band, because yes, there are elements of black metal, but there's more elements of things like melodic black metal, there's gothic metal in there, there's sort of folk elements, there's even sort of doom elements as well at certain points in the catalogue. So they've got a whole variety, if you like, a varied mix of stylisms and sounds, but they do sound incredibly unique. There are no other bands I can honestly think of that sound like Rotting Christ. Some of their earlier works, I think they do fit a little bit neater into certain subgenre molds. However, these guys are really unique, and one thing is absolutely certain: they are very deep and they are very, very dark. I can easily put Rotting Christ in the same sort of category as bands like Triptychon or Behemoth, where they have some seriously dark intensity there. There's dark lyrical content, it's just dark natured, and actually they are freaking brilliant. I cannot praise this band enough. They are definitely a highlight in that lineup for me, and I will certainly be catching them. So just showing off there the Under Our Black Cult book release that we had from Peaceville Records a few years ago now. This is a really nice piece. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this particular article because once I have actually read it, I am then going to review it. But what we do have, which is very cool, I'll just show that off quickly, is a signed sort of certificate of authenticity signed by Sarkis there. So this is a 5 CD compilation, if you like, covering demos, promos, all sorts of little pieces, EPs. We've got the Passage to Arcturo EP from 1991 in here. We've also got the first 2 albums, Thy Mighty Contract from 1993 and Non Serviam from 1994. Those albums, along with, in my opinion anyway, my humble opinion, along with the next few albums that we had, such as the Triarchy of Lost Lovers as well, and most notably A Dead Poem. These albums really do carry very strong gothic metal elements, and there's also a lot of doom as well in there, mixed with a bit of melodic black metal. But they are all really good albums. If you like quite a variety of stuff, if you like My Dying Bride or Cradle of Filth, for example, then there's definitely elements there that you'll definitely be able to appreciate. Bit of Septic Flesh at times, That sort of gothic natured metal, but really good. These are all absolutely stellar albums. If you like something a bit dark, a bit gothic, then those are all albums for you. All absolutely fantastic. They've got heavy, really heavy elements, but they've got great melodies, great emotive elements as well. Just brilliant stuff. Then we get Sleep of the Angels, another really good album, a very strong one indeed. Things start to progress in terms of heaviness, if you like, by the time we get to Kronos, a really superb album. Probably one of my favourites from their earlier formative years. I think that things at this point of Kronos, they start to shape and sound more like the Rotting Christ that we know today, which in my humble opinion is the best period, because since the release of, which was in 2013, Aiello, this, or however it's actually pronounced, this really is a unique album. And from here on out, they really do sound very unique. We've got these huge sort of crushing riffs at times. We've got this deep, powerful vocal performance from Sarkis. The riffs are crunchy. The drumming is just rhythmic and pounding. Really great stuff. It's more of the black metal elements coming to the foreground. Lots of blast beats, lots of driving rhythms. Personal favourites. This album is an absolute masterpiece. Theogonia, absolute stellar album. So many great tracks on here. Start to finish, it is powerful. It's got such intensity. The riffs are killer. Again, the follow-up album to that, which was Kataton Aemonia E Toy. No idea if that's the correct pronunciation, but this is an absolute stunner as well. This is heavy. It's so dark. A lot of those black metal elements coming through there. Again, from Aiello, Theogonia, and Kataton there, into Rituals, they have a lot of consistency. These albums do have a lot of similarities. A lot of stylisms and sounds are very similar, but they are all absolutely superb albums. Really brilliant. Right up to their latest album from 2019, Heretics. Love that cover. Brilliant stuff. Very dark, very menacing. It's just superb metal. Gothic, black, folk elements. Absolutely stunning. Recently acquired as well. Weirdly enough, you can't get them on CD, but I'm not yet qualified enough, if you like, to actually review the content of these particular albums. But I have managed to find a copy of Genesis on cassette tape. These are 2022 reissues out on Back on Black Records. Absolutely love this album. Really, really good from my initial impression. Only heard it twice, I think, now, but absolutely loving it. And then we've got Sanctus Diabolus, and this is also a superb album. Just take it out of the case there, not to blind you with that horrible glare. Brilliant albums, and I look forward to getting into those a little bit more. Just really cool things to show off. I am steadily building up my tape collection a little bit more. But if you were more of a casual listener, maybe you've heard a few bits and pieces, or maybe you have never heard of them before and actually you want a good starting point, I really would recommend this release, Their Greatest Spells, to mark the 30th anniversary of the band. This came out a few years ago, and this is just a really good compilation of their whole catalogue, if you like, because we've got 2 discs. One with 16 and one with 17 tracks on it. And it really does extensively span their whole catalogue. But they don't just necessarily pick the most obvious choices. You've got a few really good deep cuts as well in here. So this is a really good compilation to have. Why do I have this compilation if I have all 13 of the studio albums? Because I'm a completionist and a collector, and I just couldn't help myself. It's certainly enjoyable to put on in the car when you've got those really long journeys. Nice 2 discs, takes you right the way through their catalogue. But, as I say, Rotting Christ are an absolutely fantastic band. They are easily a top 10 favourite band for me of all time. Absolutely brilliant stuff. I cannot really put into words the depth and power of albums like The Heretic, which is a superb album. Rituals, again, absolutely superb. Cataton, and the list goes on. But there is, as I say, there is a notable difference between the nature, if you like, or the sound and the leaning of these albums, these latter albums, and then some of their earlier releases, where it is definitely rooted far more heavily in sort of gothic metal. But albums like this, Triarchy of the Lost Lovers, absolutely brilliant. And of course, A Dead Poem, which is a bit of a classic, actually, in terms of gothic melodic black metal. Really, really brilliant stuff. Really original. I can't think of any other band that sounds quite like the Mighty Rotting Christ. Absolutely stunning stuff. So, if you're going to Incineration Fest, do not miss the Mighty Rotting Christ, because I certainly won't. If you're not yet decided, maybe you can't quite make your mind up if you're actually going to go or not, why would you miss out? A stunning lineup like that with the inclusion of the Mighty Rotting Christ. What could be better? Thank you very much for watching, my friends. It'd be very interesting to hear any other thoughts and opinions on the Mighty Rotting Christ. Are you a fan? Are you not? I'm interested to hear. If you're looking for a good starting point, I'd probably go with Their Greatest Spells, the compilation, just simply because it will give you a great feel for their whole catalogue. And I could sit here all day and just go right through the ins and outs of every single one of these albums. But we haven't got enough time, and I don't feel that's necessarily the best way to go about it. But check out the Mighty Rotting Christ. Thanks again for watching, my friends. Do feel free to like and subscribe as always, and you can now follow the page, the No Nonsense Metal Reviews page on Facebook. Thank you again. Check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all things good and heavy. Take care, my friends. Stay heavy.